Then we go to Eala taking on Fernandez. Winner of that match will take on either a qualifier or the number 5 seed Palini in the second round. Then you got Swiatek, the number 3 seed, gets a bye in the first round. Eala's trying to get clay court wins, and Fernandez trying to get some confidence back. I'm going to go with Eala in a close 3 sets. I reckon the Fernandez experience is going to shine through, but Eala's just so confident right now, so I'm going to go with her in 3 sets. But let me know in the comments below, who is going to win this?
Right now, based on current form, Leylah Fernandez is walking straight into what might be her worst possible matchup, and that nightmare has a name: Alex Eala. Let that sink in, because this isn't the confident, informed Fernandez people are used to. This is a player still searching for rhythm, consistency, and a much-needed breakthrough result. And instead of easing into the Stuttgart Open 2026, she's been thrown directly into the fire with no warm-up, no margin for error, just a brutal round 1 clash against arguably the hottest player on the rise right now. Out of every possible draw, it had to be Eala, the one competitor currently playing with fearless intensity, unshakable confidence, and the kind of red-hot form that makes her dangerous for anyone across the net. And if Fernandez isn't already feeling the pressure, she absolutely should be, because what Eala is doing this season isn't hype or projection. It's results, real wins, hard evidence of a player breaking expectations and rewriting narratives match by match. She's been stepping onto courts and beating opponents people said she had no business touching. And then came the moment that turned heads everywhere. She faced Coco Gauff, one of the most explosive and celebrated young stars on the WTA Tour. And instead of shrinking under the spotlight, Eala owned it, stayed composed, and proved she belongs by finding a way through when it mattered most. That win wasn't just impressive, it sent real shockwaves through the tennis world, because when Alex Eala took down Coco Gauff, it instantly became a result no one could ignore, the kind that demands respect and forces the entire tour to pay attention. But what made it even more dangerous was what came next, because Eala didn't stop there. She backed it up by beating Jasmine Paolini as well, turning one big win into a pattern and making it crystal clear that this wasn't luck, this was form. And that's how momentum is built. It grows, it compounds, and it carries into every single match, every surface, every situation, which is exactly what Leylah Fernandez is now up against at the Stuttgart Open 2026. Because if anyone thought the switch to clay might slow Eala down, that idea didn't last long. She showed up and shut it down immediately, arriving at the Linz Open and making yet another statement. This time against Julia Grabher, the hometown favorite with the crowd fully behind her. And instead of being rattled by the moment, Eala owned it again, proving that her confidence isn't surface-dependent. It's real, it's growing. And it's becoming a serious problem for anyone standing across the net. And when she stepped onto that court, Alex Eala made it clear immediately that she had no intention of playing the role of a quiet visitor overwhelmed by the moment. She arrived at the Linz Open with a plan, a clear identity, and the confidence to execute it from the very first point. There was no hesitation in her game, no feeling out process, just precision, conviction, and control, even when Julia Grabher, backed by her home crowd, tried to turn the match into a scrappy, emotional battle that could shift momentum her way. But Eala never drifted. She stayed composed, locked into her structure, calm under pressure, and completely in command of the situation as it unfolded. From the opening games, she set the tone by taking the early lead, signaling that she wasn't there to ease into clay but to dominate on it. And even when Grabher fought back to level things at 3-all, that moment didn't shake Eala, it triggered a response. She raised her level, took control, and made a deliberate decision to seize the match, pushing through resistance and asserting exactly who the better player was on that day. The first set, taken 6-4, wasn't just a lead. It was a statement built on quality shot-making, resilience, and sharp mental clarity, the kind that separates contenders from the rest. And instead of letting up, she doubled down in the second set, coming out even stronger, racing to a quick 3-game lead and immediately putting Grabher under pressure again. Even when the home favorite tried to claw her way back, searching for any opening to shift the momentum, Eala refused to give her anything, shutting the door with authority and making it clear that this match was never slipping out of her. She raised her level exactly when it mattered and closed the second set 6-3, dominant, convincing, and completely decisive. And while Alex Eala didn't go on to win the Linz Open, that's almost beside the point, because the detail that every Leylah Fernandez supporter needs to focus on is this. There wasn't a single moment in that match where Eala looked uncomfortable on clay, not once. She moved with confidence, constructed points with intelligence, and handled the slower surface with a natural ease that signals her game translates extremely well to it. And that should be a serious warning sign, because the clay season has only just begun, yet she already looks like one of the most dangerous players in any draw she enters. She didn't arrive on clay hoping to adjust. She arrived looking like she belongs, like someone who is only going to get sharper, cleaner, and more precise with every match she plays on this surface, which makes what's coming next even more significant, because now the stage shifts to the Stuttgart Open 2026, and that's exactly where Fernandez has to step in and face her in round one. And when you break down this matchup, the discomfort for Fernandez becomes impossible to ignore, because the contrast in momentum between these two players couldn't be more extreme. On one side, you have Eala riding a wave of confidence built on real results, proven wins, and growing belief, including statements against Coco Gauff and Jasmine Paolini, and on the other side, Fernandez is still searching for answers. Eala is walking onto that court in Stuttgart without doubt, without hesitation, without any internal questions about whether she belongs at this level, because she's already answered that earlier this season, and now she's carrying that certainty, that belief, and that momentum into every single match she plays from here on out.
Yala's trying to get clay court wins, and Fernandez trying to get some confidence back. I'm going to go with the other in a close 3 sets. I reckon the Fernandez experience is going to shine through, but Yala's just so confident right now, so I'm going to go with her in 3 sets. But let me know in the comments below, who is going to win this one?
That kind of confidence is not something you can manufacture. It cannot be faked, and it cannot be switched on in a locker room speech. It only comes from results, from pressure situations, from repeatedly delivering in the biggest moments when everything is on the line, and Alex Eala has all of that right now in abundance. She has built it point by point, match by match, through real performances that have shaped her belief, and that's exactly what makes her so dangerous in a first-round scenario. She doesn't need time to settle. She arrives already switched on, already operating at full intensity, already making life uncomfortable from the very first point, and both Julia Grabher and Linz Open, and anyone watching saw that clearly. Now Leylah Fernandez is about to experience the same reality in the Stuttgart Open 2026, a player who doesn't ease in, doesn't test the waters, but instead imposes herself immediately and forces opponents to react under pressure from the opening game. The truth is Fernandez needed a softer path here, a match to build rhythm, confidence, and flow, but instead she's been handed an opponent who has already beaten elite names like Coco Gauff and Jasmine Paolini this season and looked completely at home on clay from the moment she arrived. That completely shifts the pressure dynamic, because Eala has nothing to lose, everything to gain, and all the momentum, while Fernandez is the one expected to find answers against a player who looks, right now, increasingly difficult to slow down. The Stuttgart opener has suddenly become one of the most intriguing early-round clashes of the tournament, and for fans on both sides, it's shaping up to be anything but comfortable.